power and performance intersects rideable art, you have found the company Hoyt Street Skateboards. From the moment you step onto the board, that first initial push of the Hoyt puck, you know you've stepped onto something that is unlike any other board in this class. The power is unmatched in its acceleration and smoothness. It's not the fact that the board goes 40 miles an hour, it's the fact that the board goes 40 miles an hour but it feels like you're riding at 20. Stability and the secure feeling at high speeds is just one of the many features that Hoyt UAV has to offer. And let's go ahead and dive in a little further here. Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Drew Elia. I'm so excited to have you guys here on the channel, and I am so excited here to go ahead and dive a little further into what I have here is the Hoyt UAV platform. This board is the top tier when it comes to Eskate, in my opinion, and I'm going to explain why. So if you haven't yet, this is the Hoyt UAV. If you're unfamiliar with the Hoyt UAV company, they are out of the second best Portland, Oregon, Portland, Maine being the first best, and they are one of the premier Eskate production companies in the USA today. These guys have knocked it out of the park when it comes to one of the most beautiful and performance-driven boards out there. I'm going to be diving a little further into each and individual spec as far as the board's going on here, but this is my long-term review of the board. If you haven't yet, go ahead and click on the link up here. This is my first initial impressions video that I got to try out of the board when it very first came out, which was really what set me off. It blew me away. I was very early in my Eskate career, probably 6 months into it, and I really hadn't ridden something along this lines where I realized that this is the board that is top tier. It's one of those things where I can't explain any further than you really got to try one to understand it and see what I'm talking about here. But I will do my best to convey the importance of this board and why I think you should go ahead and pick this board up. So let me start off with something here that I just want to get out of the way. There are boards out there, there are companies out there that make quick boards. Quick is not fast. So what do I mean by that? Is that, let's relate this to cars. The Model S Plaid Edition is a quick car. This is a car that you jump into, you gun it off the line, ludicrous mode, 0 to 100 miles an hour in 3.2 seconds. That's great. Beyond that time frame, it dies off. It doesn't have the top end speed that you would find in, say, let's say a 911 Porsche GTR, where you have this incredible acceleration and it pulls all the way through beyond that 100 mile an hour, beyond 150 miles an hour, almost to 200 miles an hour. There is the difference there. That is what I'm saying when you get on a board like this, is that the initial pull is fantastically powerful and it pulls all the way through. It is a fast board and a quick board versus just being a quick board like other companies that are out there. First, let's go ahead and talk about obviously the elephant in the room, just how gorgeous this board is. Not only is this board a bamboo deck, but it also has a first ever bamboo enclosure. That whole series right there is a steam pressed from a company called Bamboo Revolution. These guys make each and individual board custom made, and they are pressed on the enclosure and the top deck and basically create a very nice rigid structure. Now, typically in the bamboo situation, you would think bamboo, bouncy, flexible. Not in this situation. The Flex is a very stiff board, but it also does have a little bit of flex due to the trucks and the wheels, but it is overall a very sturdy platform. Carvability on this truck is absolutely insane, also due to the length and set of this deck and the looks. Like I said, it's a rideable piece of art. I can't stress that enough, is that I get more compliments, more questions asked when I'm riding something like this than any of my other boards, because it stands out. I mean, bamboo, complete bamboo enclosure, really gorgeous looking trucks, really gorgeous looking wheels. People always like stop me when I'm at the park or when I'm riding around or I'm just like at a street light. People are always asking, what is that thing? Is it bamboo? What's going on with that? And it's definitely a standout feature when you're riding in a pack of other boards that are most like carbon fiber or other materials like maybe even maple and stuff like that too. I just think that it's one of the best looking boards out here. Going on to the internals here, 190 amp VESC, 95 amps to each motor. Basically what that means is that this is an insanely power output. This is a fantastic ability to get those motors up to speed, get this board flying and pulling all the way through where you are gonna be, no matter where you are in the power band, be able to gun down, accelerate, and take off. You feel like you're doing 25 miles an hour when you all of a sudden look down your speedometer and it's just, you're doing 35 miles an hour. It's that stable. It's just that stable, that quick. You know, Hoyt has done an incredible job with making sure that you are stable, carvy, and power all in the same package. Really have done a knocked out job there. So diving into the underneath here, the trucks, custom CNC Riptide Reverse Kingpin Truck Series. They named this the ROSA trucks. It stands for Rake, Offset, Split Angle. What does that mean to you? It means that maximum stability and carvetability at any speed whatsoever. These trucks are probably one of my favorite trucks that's out there right now. I think that they have really dialed it in. They've actually gone with someone who is a downhill racer on a skateboard, and they've asked him his input, they've gotten his knowledge, they've been able to say, hey, you race at 55, 65 miles an hour down a hill. What is the most stable platform for you? They got that information and expanded that and made it into the Eskate world. It is by far one of the best platforms as far as I'm concerned, as far as stability and carvetability at this area. You're able to hit 30 plus miles an hour and feel like you're just kind of floating through it like you would be at 20 miles an hour on a regular skateboard. It's just one of those things where it's just so smooth and so stable and so incredibly carvy, even at the high speeds, that I just truly think that, Hoyt has done something absolutely spectacular with these trucks, and it proves, you can see it in all of these clips here, that they definitely have gone above and beyond and really dialed in the design of these trucks. Looking back towards the back end of this situation, the whole entire back end assembly is one piece. So the motor mount situation, everything is all assembled into the truck system as well too. The reason why that's awesome is that it has self-tensioning belts. What does that mean? The self-tensioning belt system is basically you unscrew these two screws here, unscrew this top part here, and the belt will actually self-tension itself. So you don't have to more guesswork, no more trying to figure out if this is the right tensioning. You have a wheel that's potentially slipping, go ahead and adjust that, or if you need to replace a wheel that's on there, go ahead and pull that off. 2 screws, 1 screw up top here, boom, stretches, set it, you're done. That's awesome. On top of that, they've also integrated this incredibly gorgeous bash guard / handle, one of my favorite features, and it's overlooked in a lot of other companies, but this is kind of one of those things where it's actually so nice and so luxurious to grab that I definitely gotten spoiled with this board, because you are able to go ahead and grab this, pick it up, and drag it over any curb, drag it up over a tree stump or anything like that. It's one of those situations where just this little tiny feature alone, it's a great standout feature. But between the front trucks for the ROSA system, the integrated belt tensioning system inside of here with the motor mounts and everything along those lines that way, Hoyt has done a absolutely fantastic job with the designing and R&D of this department. I'll touch briefly on the battery inside of here because it is a 12S4P. A lot of people look at the spec sheet and they go 12S4P. I know that, other companies out there that have 12S4Ps, now there's even companies that have 14S4Ps. This board was in development. It took them over 2 years to go ahead and get this in development. So when they first put this out, a 12S4P was a really powerful, really long range board. Granted, now in today's standards, it might be a little less. They're already in production with other boards out there like the Tabor and the Dad Bod. Those are something that I think I will be getting to go ahead and test as well. So once I get those on the channel, make sure you go ahead and subscribe and stay tuned, check for those. But those boards are gonna have 12S 8Ps, 16S 8Ps, just insane power, insane range. I'm sure that the UAV will be getting an update as well too. So please just understand that this platform right now, the 12S4P, it is very good for what it is. And I'm sure we'll be looking forward to the future, but this platform is absolutely fantastic. The UAV is one of my favorite situations as far as a power performance ratio here. With that being said, I've had this board for a long time, so I've done things like range tests where I was getting 23 to 25 miles of range on this board. At the same time, I also did an uphill battle test. Not the most scientific test possible, but the UAV did beat the competition in an insane uphill battle with over 15 seconds of a time frame there. And I can't stress that enough. That's most likely due to 2 things. 1, comfortability, being able to have the most time on this board. Second, the absolute raw power and ability of this board to go ahead and race uphill and hit 35 miles an hour uphill. What? I can't stress that enough, that in these videos, in these clips here, that I was able to confidently ride this board without any hesitation above 30 miles an hour almost throughout the entire stretch, and be able to really showcase what this board has to offer. That is a honest representation of what a comfortability, power level, and stability all have in one. This board checks all those boxes, and I can say that even stepping on this from day one, being able to just gun it and know that I'm stable and confident, it's just an overall insanely good package deal. So let's go ahead and dive into the wheels as well too. So not only are the wheels and the hubs completely custom made by Hoyt, the wheels are rated for high speed use for Eskate. Most of the wheels that are out there are companies that make other wheels out there, whether it's like a lawnmower tire or anything along those lines that way. They've gone ahead and cracked open a mold and been able to craft a brand new tire that is actually speed rated for insane amount of speed. And you can see on here that I've definitely done some wearing out of the tires on here, and you know, it's probably due for me to rotate this a little bit, but I know that these are grippy and able to really propel you safely, knowing that you're able to just rip around on these things. Absolutely fantastic. Doesn't matter at what speed, I don't feel any speed wobbles. The balancing on them is absolutely incredible. They really did a fantastic job as far as it comes to creating a product for themselves, seeing a need, and being able to craft something that allows them to go with their product. So who is this board for? Honestly, if you are looking for a premier production board that gives you everything, it's not a blank canvas, it is a final production board that you really don't have to worry ever about upgrading anything as far as on there. The power, the performance, the ability, the carvetability, stability, this company has knocked it out of the park. I cannot stress enough that this is one of my favorite boards out there. I was absolutely honored when they reached out to me saying, we want to give you one of the boards for a long-term use, and be able to do that. I will also go ahead and say that this is not a board I get to keep. I have no affiliation with them. It is a review unit that they did send out to me. I will be returning the board, so I just want to make sure that you guys stress that enough, that no payment or anything along those lines that way was exchanged for this information. It's just one of those situations where I can say that this board really has checked all of the boxes when it comes to an Eskate riding vehicle. It's just a confident-inducing, high-speed, thrill-seeking carving machine. I truly think that they have had something here that's going to rival a lot of other competitors that are out there. And looking forward to the Tabor, which is their brand new shorter board, and their Dadbot, which is their longer range board. It's definitely one of those things where the company has positioned themselves in a premier market, allowing you to go ahead and choose different tiers for you as a rider, and knowing that you're going to be getting the best of the best quality when it comes to anything that's out in the Eskate market these days. Well guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate you checking out the channel here too. If you haven't yet, go ahead, click that like, click that subscribe button. Make sure that the Eskate gospel gets spread throughout the world, because we want to make sure that we get as many people as we possibly can on an Eskate. And if you haven't yet, check out this video down here. And make sure you check out this video over here. Until next time guys, be safe, always wear a helmet. Peace.